Hello, it's Nikki. I've got something really exciting to share with you today. But I've recorded this so many times because I'm feeling all the feels. But I guess that's okay, isn't it? That's a sign that I'm doing something and I'm making moves and I'm making bold moves. And it's my fear trying to hold me back. So, yes, absolutely. I'm really excited on one hand to be able to share this with you. But on the other hand, I'm feeling all the feels because what I'm about to launch completely and utterly conflicts with everything that goes on in my industry and what other people are teaching out there. But I have been playing with this behind the scenes for a year or two, and I've been having this niggle that I need to do more, that I need to show up and share in a different kind of way, and a way that feels really good to me and that is not like everybody else. And when I get those feelings and when I get those instincts, I can try and ignore them. Of course I can. Fear, excuses, the right time, all the things will always come out to play. But I know ultimately that for me, going forward, because don't get me wrong, I'm in this for the long game. I'm not looking to do this and then suddenly disappear and start a new business. I want to continue doing what I love for a long time to come. So I know that I'm going to have to do different scary things sometimes to keep reinventing things, but I always go from that feelings place of what feels good. And for a long time, I felt like the online world has just become very samey, very saturated, the same templates. I've been able to almost guess where people trained or what coach they worked with. All the sales copy is the same, and people are just almost making claims that other people can do things too, like I will show you in 3 easy steps how you can make 10k months, or the 6-figure or the 7-figure business model, or to be able to create a passive income without you doing anything or even going anywhere near your computer. Now, I haven't completed all of those programs, and I'm sure there is some good stuff in there, but time and time again, two things arise for me. One, unless you're in their exact circumstances, it can be really difficult to follow in their success. So for example, if somebody who has 1 million followers, for example, is teaching you how to create an online course and be able to, I don't know, earn £500,000 in a month, I'm just saying random figures here, and you have 100 followers on Instagram, with the best will in the world, you're not going to be able to copy their success because the numbers just don't add up. You don't have enough bums on seats to sell to. The second thing that I found is everything has become very, very premium in terms of costings and what is kind of the new normal. Now, over the years, I have invested in high-end programs. I have dropped a lot of money in terms of my self-development and my business development. I've worked one-on-one with coaches, and I will continue to do so in the future. However, there have been amazing books, conversations, workshops, podcasts, all these quite low end, and I'm doing bunny ears here, low end offerings that have been game changing for me. And also lessons that I've learned in my own life. So my own life circumstances have suddenly thrown up a lot of different variables that have forced me into moving into the next chapter and looking at things differently. And one thing that I really find frustrating is this expectation that unless you invest in yourself, you're not serious. And I really have to call that out and question it, because I do agree with the fact that you have to go all in sometimes. You have to make a decision that now is your time, that now other things in the past that have been a bit wishy-washy, they're suddenly non-negotiable. I really do agree with that. However, that doesn't necessarily mean getting yourself into a financial back against the wall moment where you can't see the wood for the trees because you're investing in yourself. I don't agree with putting yourself in that much fear. Because I tell you why. We're all in our, well, I presume, that's a bit of a kind of a sweeping statement, isn't it? But I presume we're all adults listening to this. I'm sure that we have life commitments that we have to be able to commit to, and we want to be able to thrive. So this thing of I was down to the last 17p, but I knew I had to invest, it just for me doesn't wash with me, because I have two small children. If suddenly I had to take one of them to A&E in the middle of the night, I need to know that I can book a taxi and be able to get there and keep my children safe. So those sales tactics of I was on my back but I knew I had to invest, they just don't kind of wash with me. And the reason that I'm calling this out is not to make other people's businesses wrong, or not to pass judgment on the way that other people structure their business. But what I need to do is to follow that instinct and really see where my own gaps are and where I know that I need to help. So back in 2011, 2012, when I was training to be a coach, nobody was really talking about coaching. Self-development wasn't really a phrase. It wasn't something that was in the mix, and it was very much something that was being done in America, and it was very shiny and full of gold Lamborghinis. And here in the UK, we were literally peeking over the fence and going, oh, ooh, okay, what's that? What does that mean? And in the room that I was training in, it felt quite stuffy at times, quite corporate, quite formulaic. Don't get me wrong, I did get a lot of insight from that, but I knew that I would have to be able to find a way to figure out what worked for me and what felt good, because ultimately this is the thing for me. I need to feel good in what I'm doing. So very early on I realized there wasn't going to be a template for that. I had to do the work myself. I had to be able to get real with myself sometimes, do the inner work, do the mindset work, do the strategy, and really show that I was ready for that change. And at that time in 2011, 2012, because nobody was talking about this, and I guess I'm not saying that I was a trailblazer, but certainly in my close friends and family, I was one of the first that was sort of into this world. Do you remember when yoga wasn't even a thing, and people were like, what, you do yoga? So like, what is it for? And then suddenly over the last 10 years everything has changed, and everybody's doing yoga and all kinds of brilliant alternative therapies as well, which is fantastic. But it was hard at that time because everything on the outside was telling me that I wasn't ready. So I had such judgment and imposter syndrome. I was only 30, so I was like, who am I to become a life coach and a business coach? What have I got to offer? Are people just going to call me out and think that I'm silly for thinking that I can help change their lives? My bank account, it wasn't looking too pretty at that time. I was very much a jobbing actor, always in between jobs, freelancing, trying to cobble together things. So I wasn't in a position where I could just throw loads of money at it and be able to invest in that way. Time, I didn't have loads of time. I was doing all the things. I was trying to work full time. I was trying to study. I was trying to see friends and family. I was really in that point about being 30, and you know, it's even more limited now because I have two small children, but I definitely didn't have like a fortnight where, I don't know, my nana could pay for me to go to Jamaica and just sit on it. Like, I was very much in the hustle. Also, following that, I didn't have loads of excess energy to be going here, there and everywhere. I was quite burnt out. I was doing 5 days a week, and also I was studying, getting up at 5 in the morning and then studying in the evening and working all weekends to make it all work for me. But I had to keep going with that belief. Also, I didn't necessarily have that belief in myself, because when I would see the shiny self-development online world, I somehow didn't believe that it was for me. I didn't look like them. I didn't look perfect. I didn't have perfect teeth. I didn't have perfect skin. I wasn't on a beach somewhere. I was in cold, rainy London at the time, and I didn't necessarily think that I could get in the game. And this is what has prompted me to shake things up in my business and add a new strand to my business, because I really do not believe in any shape or form that life development, business development, wellness should be just for an elite few. As you may have known, if you've listened for a while, you will have known I've got back into the game with running. And because I have only just started working again after having my second daughter, and we're juggling it, and I'm maybe not working as much as I would do, I'm not going to go out and spend 90 quid on a pair of new leggings to make sure that I'm runner ready and I'm looking all athletic. Of course, that would be great to be able to have a brand new outfit. But for me at this time, I'm being discerning, and I'm choosing to spend my money in other ways. I'm choosing to be able to spend more time with my daughter rather than me working, 12-hour days, 5 days a week. I have a different set of values at the moment. And having spoken to over 1,000 people, I've coached over 1,000 people up until this point and had many, many more conversations with other people, and I've definitely done my 10,000 hours in terms of moving into expert status. And one thing that I need to address and I need to do as my commitment in this next chapter is I need to give back. I'm really getting that urge, and I was hesitant for a while because I was like, is it a charity I need to build? Do I need to start doing a scholarship for somebody? And that suddenly became a lot of life admin when I don't have a lot of spare time on my hands. But what it got me thinking was, what can I share? What can I offer? What can I give to people right now from where they are so they get in the game? Because I tell you what, when you need to move, when you need to up level or go to the next level, it's usually at a moment of change, and sometimes that change doesn't come through choice. It could be having a new baby and suddenly you're very sleep deprived, or losing your job, or struggles with mental health, or a change in family circumstances, or getting divorced from your partner who you thought would be the one forever. Maybe you've had deaths in the family. Sorry, I'm not putting all of this on you, but I'm just wanting to share a bit of real life, a bit of behind the scenes of what actually life can throw at us sometimes. And when life throws everything up in the air, there are two things that you have that come to the surface. One, sometimes it can work in a really great way that you have clarity. You suddenly have that moment of going, no, enough is enough. I need to change things. I need to move. I need to do this. Enough is enough. Whatever it might be, you have that sudden urge of energy and strength and clarity. But then sometimes life can throw you something where you need to change things, and urgency is your driver. So maybe life has thrown you a curveball that suddenly you need to pivot and take things in a different direction. And it's often at those times where big loads of money are not hanging around under your sofa waiting for the day when they might come out to play. So these premium offerings of like, just work with me, it's only $2,000, it's only 10 grand, or even a couple of £100 can feel like a great expense at that time. And you may be at a point where you've actually never invested in yourself, and there could be so many things that would be holding you back. So especially if you have joint money, it can be really bold, or it can feel really uncomfortable to be able to say to your partner, look, I would really like to do this. I know finances are not what we want them to be at the moment, but could we do this? Or could we get some additional childcare so I can invest in myself? Or could we be able to balance things a little bit better so you have time, energy, space, etc.? So This has been the real driver for me, and this instinct, because although high-end premium offerings have really helped me, there have been other times where other offerings have helped me. And I'm so thrilled to be able to offer 6 really powerful trainings, workshops, courses, whatever you want to call them. And here's the thing that completely conflicts with my industry. They're going to be £20 each. I know, £20. I mean, what is that? Is that a lunch out and a couple of coffees? Is that a travel card and a lunch? You know, we can all drop £20 really often. Or back in the day, it used to be £20 a night out, get a new top, brilliant. Yeah, I think you could have a night out and a new top, and probably not a taxi home, but maybe a bus home. But I want to make this accessible for you, because when you're making change, it's scary, and all of your limiting beliefs will come out to play. You'll tell yourself you don't have the time, you don't have the money, you're not the sort of person who has X, Y, and Z. But I want to make this non-negotiable. Please, we need your voice, we need what you have to offer, we need more women to be earning significant money, and I don't want you to be staying on the sidelines, hoping for the best, waiting for the perfect day. And poor old 2020, my goodness, such pressure already. It's when we're going to change everything and do all the things. This is your opportunity right now to do what you need to do. And there's different offerings. So what you can do is you can buy one of these workshops and have access to it. And I know already you're going to access the information and go, whoa, I cannot believe I've got all this information for £20. And I've done this purposefully, and I've also done 2 versions of this. So you've got the audio version and you've got a video version as well. So even if you're at a point where time is not on your side at the moment, you can listen to it in the car, or when you're cooking the dinner, or when you're washing up, or last thing at night. You can have it in the background, just listening to it subconsciously before you actually sit down and do the work. I really want this information to be accessible for you. So there's so many different things. There's a building your version of the business and life plan. There's another one that takes you behind the scenes in terms of creating opportunities. So I give you the framework that I used when I spoke at Stylist Live. There's an up-leveling you training, so boosting confidence, releasing limiting beliefs, and stepping into expert status. There's a designing your pricing menu, so looking at your one-to-one, in-person, and passive income, because I hear it time and time again. People don't know what to charge, so they don't. They do free work all of the time, so I want to help you move past there. There's also the non-sexy parts of business, so you may have reached this point where you're listening to this and actually going, I've just fed up with this. I don't know how to move forward. I've got no time, no money, no energy, nothing's working. This is going to be a real sort of game-changing, okay, let's get you back on track. And the final one is about attracting your ideal client. So I know this is a real pain point of so many of my clients, is people don't necessarily know how to find the people that are going to pay them for all the things that they're really great at. And I want to say from the get-go that you are the perfect person for your ideal client. All you need to know is how to be able to market, and actually sharing who you are, your story, your USP, your value, your skills. That will attract the people, and you are ready now. So there's also some really lovely bundle details as well. So you can buy one for 20, 3 for 50, or you can buy all 6 for 95. And I'm so excited to share this. All the details are down below, and I don't want you to give that excuse, because there will always be somebody that needs something, or someone who will need you. So you can give yourself those excuses of like, well, we shouldn't do it right now because the kids are doing X, Y, and Z, or we're saving for this, or time is of the essence because it doesn't feel like the perfect time. I've got enough going on. And I felt that as well, especially when I've invested in high-end programs. I haven't been able to dedicate the time, and sometimes I felt the pressure and I've made the investment anyway and I've not got what I needed from the course. So hopefully this will be a non-negotiable for you. I don't want you to be where you are in a year because you haven't been able to move forward. I've made this super simple for you. And one final thing I need to tell you is every last day of the month I'm going to be giving away 2 full packages of all 6 programs. So over on Instagram I'm going to be running a giveaway where I do that, and for now this is just the beginning of my philanthropic journey. This is the beginning of me giving back. So this is the start of me giving 24 women or men, if I don't think men listen to me necessarily, but definitely 24 women the chance to get in the game. This is what it's all about, and there will be more, and we all need to rise and help each other out and rise each other up and all that good stuff. So do have a look. Everything's there available for you. There's no kind of buy it now or kind of sales funnels or anything like that. I just want to keep it super easy, super lovely, and there's hours of content for you to enjoy and get started. And even if you just think, oh, I haven't got time to do all 6, start with 1. Start with the thing that is pressing you right now that you need to move forward on. I cannot wait to hear what you think, and let's do it. All right, have a look in the description box. All the details are there, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.